Team USA, they beat Australia on Monday. They play Croatia next. Anthony Edwards, LeBron James, Joel Embiid, 34 points combined to start. Then Devin Booker, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo, 43 points off the bench. This is a team. We're going to keep this one quick, Adam. It's just, you see the physicality. Australia just overmatched. It's this, watching this American team, I don't think a single game will be decided by less than 15 points. They're going to blow out all their opponents. It was a close one against Australia at the end, but this wasn't a full-strength Team USA either. They're just going to run through this tournament. That's all I'm getting whenever I see all this.
They should.
Right?
I mean, they should. If they don't, it's a disaster. I mean, there's no other way around that. You can't assemble this group of talent on the floor and expect to lose any games in this tournament. And if they do, I mean, it's just an absolute travesty. Now, the rest of the world is catching up to the USA, right? Since 92, everyone knows, right? Dream team. And the rest of the world is caught up. But not, look at this roster. I mean, it's so stacked and ridiculous. Like, there's no way. Like, Canada's the closest one probably to the USA, right? In terms of talent on the roster. You could look at Serbia too, Jokic, and and France with Gobert and Wemby, but like there's no one close to the US. They should roll in this tournament.
Yeah, Canada perimeter defense is close, so they don't have the bigs. France has Wemby and Gobert, so 2 7-footers. They have the shooters that can keep up. I think that'll be the closest one because the amount of shots that Wemby erases around the rim. But end of the day, the pure talent. I mean, they have Joel freaking Embiid now playing for Team USA. So you have one of the best bigs in the world on your team, along with the best talent and shooters. To me, it's going to be a wrap in this tournament. It'll still be interesting to watch, but it's going to be nothing but blowouts, in my opinion. So all this talk of the Olympics, Summer Olympics around Team USA, I want to get your Mount Rushmore, Adam. We're talking Summer Olympians, your top 4 Summer Olympians all time in Team USA history.
All right, so take this with a grain of salt. I grew up as a child of the late 80s and early 90s, right? So I used to buy Wheaties boxes, with certain Olympians on the cover, and you get attached, to some of these athletes because this is what you remember as a kid. So I got to go back to Jackie Joyner-Kersee. All the way back in the day with the heptathlon and just becoming one of the greatest female athletes of all time. Michael Phelps obviously is on there. I mean, he has like 24 medals to his name, just absolutely ridiculous what he did in the pool. Simone Biles getting more current, of course, with what she's achieving, and at this age too, by the way, as a U.S. gymnast, that's incredible what she's doing in her late 20s now. And then I go back to Mary Lou Retton. I talked about the Wheaties boxes. You think of what she accomplished, becoming the first woman, I believe, to win the all-around a gold medal. She won she was the first woman to win the all-around in the floor routine, the gold medal. So she at 4'9", she was America's sweetheart, from '84, for many, many years. So that's my Mount Rushmore. I know there were others who won more medals than some of these athletes did, but again, just the significance of what they accomplished at the time, to me, puts them on that list.
Yeah, I'm with you. When you think of all-time great Olympians, you think of the moments, how they, when the world is literally watching, how they rose to the occasion and just had literal worlds and countries in the palm of their hands. It all starts and stops with Michael Phelps. To me, the greatest Summer Olympian of all time. 23 gold medals. Next closest of anybody. Any country is 9. And it was just such a dominant swimmer. 2008 was his breakout Olympic Games, of course, because everything he did. But this is a guy literally, built in a lab where you would want the perfect swimmer with his extra lung capacity. His body literally...
back ever.
Right? His body literally only generated half the lactic acid that a normal human like us does. Like, he was born and literally gifted to be an all-time Olympian athlete, let alone swimmer. Then I go to Katie Ledecky, 7 gold medals in 5 different disciplines. To me, that is so impressive. And she has a world records in the 800-meter freestyle and women's 1,500-meter freestyle. You mentioned Simone Biles as well. 4th ever American woman to make 3 Olympic teams in gymnastics. She's tied with Shannon Miller right now for most medals by an American Olympic gymnast. And she's very likely to break that record and get gold because even in her last game, Games in Tokyo. She suffered from the twisties, had her withdraw. She was still the favorite to win gold in 4 of the 6 potential disciplines for her. So she has his 7 total medals to her name. She got 4 gold medals in her first Olympic Games back in 2016. The fact that she's still doing it is so impressive. And the last spot for me, I go to the great Carl Lewis. 4 gold medals in 1984, added 5 more throughout his career, and he's one of 6 Olympians ever to win gold in the same event 4 straight Olympic Games. The longevity, the dominance, what he was able to do. And again, someone that did it in multiple disciplines. To me, that's what makes him and those 4 overall all-time great Olympians. I just love you pointed out, and that's fine. Like, let's be victims of the moments where we grew up watching the Olympics, and it's what made us fall in love with the summer and winter games. That is Phelps, that is Simone Biles, that is Katie Ledecky for me all the way. But then when I see what Carl Lewis achieved, I just can't deny his greatness there.
Yeah, those are great picks. And again, I don't think you really have a wrong answer, in this conversation. But, and I also go back to the 92 Olympic basketball team, right? The greatest basketball team ever assembled. I know we're doing individual athletes here, but just to see that team out on the floor. I was 12 years old in 1992. I mean, this was just the most incredible thing to see, Magic and Bird playing together. It was Larry Bird's last hurrah because he had retired. Magic Johnson obviously had retired. And to see Michael Jordan, taking the torch from those guys and being just incredible. And then the roster itself, it was a travesty that Shaq wasn't on the team. I remember Christian Laettner. That was a big deal at the time where they picked Christian Laettner as the college guy and not Shaq. Should have been Shaq. That would have been fun to see. But those are my memories, as a kid, just watching the 92 team just dominate in Barcelona. It was awesome.
Yeah, that was the first time they were like, all right, NBA guys, you guys go out and play because we got to win this gold. This is a sport we should be dominating. They opened up the floodgates, and they've just followed through every time since. I think that 92 team, I wasn't born until 2 years later, but you can't talk about the history of basketball in America and talk about the legacy, like you said, of all those superstars that came through the league, whether at the end of their career or on their ascension to the top. You can't talk about them and their careers without those 92 games. But that's what, and I like about both our Mount Rushmores, you point out the individuals because there's such stacked teams in basketball, and maybe it's unfair for us to consider that, but it's all about the individual performers. That's what really steps out in the Olympics to me, like in gymnastics and swimming, and that's what made the Mount Rushmore up. But Adam, I gotta say, it was fantastic Mount Rushmore on your part, my friend.
Yeah, you too, man. Just Carl Lewis, not on the Mount Rushmore of national anthems. I don't know if you've ever seen that clip before, George, but I recommend that you YouTube Carl Lewis national anthem.
I will do so. I think I've seen it. I'm going to do it again anyway, just as a refresher. And next time I'm on the chat with you, I'll bring it up. That's it for this edition of Boston Has Entered the Chat. Thank you for listening, watching, wherever you do. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, wherever you get your podcast, and follow us on YouTube and Twitch as well. George Balekji from the PNC Bank Studio. He's Adam Pellerin. We'll see you guys next time.